How can teamwork contribute to the success of a business? We're going to answer that question on this video. All right, guys, so teamwork, that's probably one of the most important things to work on, refine, and build in your business. Initially, it's probably going to be just you as you're starting out. But as you decide to grow your business, you're going to need more people. And teamwork is what's going to make it happen. Certainly, you can't do everything yourself, not at least in any great big business, right? Any small business that's got employees has to have what they call camaraderie. You have to have good relationships amongst your people. You can't have people fighting. You can't have the guys in the kitchen fighting with the waiters and so on. Everybody needs to work, in a sense, harmoniously, together, happily, to go towards that common goal. And a lot of things that I've realized over the years that have really held back a lot of businesses is not that they don't have the right people, it's having the right people in their environment. So maybe somebody that's not working good with the other 5 people on their team would have been better fit in a different company because they work a lot better with those individuals. So sometimes you'll have 1 or 2 people in a business that if you keep them around too long, they, in a sense, they infect your business. They start poisoning some of your other employees and saying bad things about you and the business and this and that. And if you ever have anybody working for you like that, you have to cut that cord immediately. What you don't want is you don't want all that bad talk. Now, people are going to talk, they're going to say comments, and small talk is fine, right? So you're not going to have to worry about so much every little detail that happens, but there's certain individuals that'll work for you that will continuously come in every day with a bad attitude and with the intent to just always complain. I'm sure you've had some. If you've ever had a job before, you can probably think of a person or 5 people right off the top of your head that have been those type of individuals, that no matter what day it is, if it's the sun's shining, if everything's going great at work, nobody's bothering them, they're still having a bad day. And unfortunately, as a business owner, those are the kind of employees you want to cut early, because as you're molding people to do the things in your business that you want them to do, you don't want to be training people that aren't going to last, or people that as you hire and bring in new excited people to work for your company, these people are going to go and talk trash on you or talk trash on the business. Or, every business has growing pains, right? Nobody starts off perfect and everything's perfect, but most people understand that and they kind of take it with a grain of salt, especially if they're your staff. I've got a lot of staff members that as we were building companies, they knew we were doing our best to improve. And I always like to use that term CANI, canny or can-I, however you want to pronounce it, constant and never-ending improvement. Write that one down. That's a huge one. CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. If you live and die in your business by that motto and you're always looking to improve every day, constantly, that'll take you to where you need to be. So keep in mind that as you build your team, you want your team to constantly and never-endingly improve. And they improve with you and improve the business, improve your services, improve your products. I always like to go back to the restaurant example. Can they prepare the food better? Is there a better way? More seasoning on this steak, less seasoning, cook it a little longer, cook it a little less, things like that. What can you do to improve your business? So what I like to do as I'm setting up a business and when I'm ready and I can afford to hire somebody is I want to find people that I consider, say, like a franchise player in the NFL. Somebody that I just want to keep on my team for a very long period of time, and I want to build the company around them. So here's a very important trick to understand to serve those people that you want to take care of and you want to hire. So you want to actually reverse the table. And this is where it becomes almost like a paradox, because most people don't look at it like this. They say, well, I'm the owner, so I'm the boss, so they work for me, right? So I have to, anything I say, they have to do, right? And that's not the right mentality. You want to do the opposite of that. When you hire people, in a sense, as an owner, you have created this business, you're auditioning for them. They have to sign up and want to do what you've created. And so that's kind of something, if you can flip that and be take a more humble approach to when you're hiring your team, you would be shocked how many more people become more loyal to your cause, to your business, than if you were ruling so-called by the sword, right? It's better to rule with your heart than with the sword. You're obviously in charge. Heck, you own the business, you created it, but it's how you handle that, right? I mean, how you handle your power with your team. If they feel like you're always on top of them and always just being mean and things like that, they're not gonna want to work for you forever. I mean, when a better opportunity comes, they're gonna obviously leave. But I've had countless times where people have had maybe better opportunities, maybe more money, or they got offered something else, but they stayed with me because they knew who I am and what the company is about, and they're more comfortable in that environment, and they're not wanting to risk going somewhere else. So back to teamwork. So you're building this team, and you're starting with, say, a core person. Let's say you want to start and you say, this is my manager, and I'm going to teach my manager. We're going to help develop processes. If you haven't already developed your processes for your business, a lot of times what's great about working with your manager is you get their brain on it. Remember in the last video, we talked about creating a mastermind. So if you bring your manager in that you're hiring and you ask for their feedback and you say, hey, I want to work with you to help refine our processes or develop new ones and things like that, first of all, they're going to love you for it because you're basically telling them, hey, I'm going to let you set the rules of the game for our business. You want to be involved? They're going to be like, heck yeah. I mean, you're going to let me help create what the rules are and what I have to follow? Heck yeah. So another thing too is people do genuinely want to be involved in things like that, decision making, especially management potential. Anybody you got that's going to be a manager really enjoys being involved in those kind of decisions and helping you guide the business. Remember, owning a business, unless it's just going to be you for the rest of your life or you and your significant other for the rest of your life, owning a business is constant change with constant people. People, for the most part, employees are going to come in and out of your life. So the more that you can set up that solid foundation, we were talking about building processes and then we said hiring good people. So building your foundation with a good team is vital, instrumental to the longevity of your business. Because if you can get a few key players, a few key managers, employees, whatever titles you want to name them, on your team long term, and you take care of them, right? So I've heard an old saying, this is a powerful one. Take care of your people and they'll take care of you. So go into that mindset. Go into the mindset that you're going to take care of your people first. Forget about you making the money first. I've heard a lot of controversy over people say, pay yourself first. You're the owner, pay yourself first. Well, I get that. I get that. You've got to make your living. You got to eat, right? You've got to pay your bills. I get that. But we're talking about when you're at the spot where you're already paying yourself and you're able to transition now to where you can afford to hire people. You can afford to hire a team. That's when I want you to look at it from their perspective. In a sense, how you would see it if you were the employee coming to yourself. So I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, what would Bob Doe think if he was coming to me with this business, with how I've set it up, with the environment? He's already taken the tour. He's already maybe glanced at some of the guides we've had to kind of see how we do things. He's met me, he's sized me up. What's going through his mind? And what can I do to connect with him and build a solid foundation through him or her? Those people are the ones that are going to keep you and carry you. So once you've hired a few of these people and you've built good rapport with them and you've trained them to do the things that you've wanted done the way you want them done, or you took the humble approach and you collectively built that mastermind with these people, and as a group you've collected, hey, this is how we're going to build the business. This is how we're going to run things. This is how we're going to ring people up. This is how we're going to train. This is how we're going to, for customer retention, follow up being, we're going to follow up on customers if we're trying to make bookings and they don't book the first time. How many times are we going to call them to rebook or things like that? There's so many endless possibilities and processes. I think of like my axe throwing business. We literally have processes like paperwork that shows you how to build the target boards. It's got the measurements, it's got the instructions. You have to dumb it down so that if you hire somebody, you could give them that book, they could read it and theoretically do what you want them to do off of following those instructions. So we're building a team. We're building a solid foundation of a team. If you can get a good core knit and train them solid, then as you hire more people, a lot of those individuals become your replaceable parts. And what I mean by that is they're the ones that if they were to leave, it doesn't severely damage the business that you're running right now. The flow of the business, right? It doesn't interrupt anything. I mean, it might slow down. One of the managers or assistant managers or your core team members might say, that's going to be too much work for me. I'm already working 50 hours a week. Now I have to take that person's job. It'll put me at 70 hours. You don't want to overload your people. But when I talk about replaceable parts, as an example, a lot of fast food places will hire, kids in high school and things like that. That's their first job. And those are the people that I'm talking about replaceable parts, because they're not there long term. They're there to get a job for 3 months or 6 months or a year, and then they leave. And those people are very replaceable. But maybe the manager is a lot harder to find for those particular businesses. So the reason it's important to build a team is, in my opinion, everybody has certain tasks and certain elements and certain qualities that's unique to them, right? Everybody's good. So some people are really good at, writing, and some people are really good at customer service and love dealing with customers. And some people don't like doing that. Some people are more back of the house and administrative type of people. It's kind of like a football team. Think in the NFL. Would you ever put the kicker to be your star quarterback? And vice versa. Would you put your star quarterback to be your kicker? Would you want your quarterback that's the best quarterback in the NFL? Let's talk about Patrick Mahomes. You guys know I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Would you ever put Patrick Mahomes to kick the game-winning field goal in the Super Bowl? Would you ever do that? Now, I'm not saying that Patrick couldn't hit it. He probably has tried to kick field goals, and he might be able to do it. But you get the point. You want to put people that are the specialists in their field in each spot, right? So put your best waiters as waiters and your best chefs back in the kitchen cooking the food. Don't switch them. And you're going to need all these components in order to make your business work the way a football team can work to win a Super Bowl. That's what you're doing here. You're building a football team. So when you sit down, and it's not a number of people, because the number of people you need for the business might change over the years, right? You might only need yourself at the beginning, then you need 5 people, then you need 10, then you need 20. You might even need 100 someday. But when I say building a football team, it's the concept. And then as you can afford it, then you build backup people, right? That's the football players that are sitting on the bench. So if somebody gets injured, and so in real life business, maybe somebody gets sick, or maybe they go on maternity leave and they have to leave for a while. There's so many factors that play in where you need backup to bring people off the bench to replace that, and then vice versa. So I absolutely love building teams. It's one of my special things. I love meeting new people. There's so many different varieties of personalities, and I've met so many great people over the years, and I have some amazing people still on my teams. So remember, it's very important that you learn how to build solid teams for your business, and you focus on taking care of your people. Remember, we talk about making long-term decisions. So when you see somebody, don't see them as like they're going to work for you for a week or a month or a year. See them long. See the long game. Oh my gosh, I want to take care of this person maybe for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And if you start genuinely making decisions where they start seeing, he actually cares about me and my future and my family, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. So remember, always do your best to work as a team, because teamwork can severely impact your business positively or negatively. So it will definitely contribute to the success of a business if you can build a solid team. So remember, teamwork, be the hustler.